I wasn't meant to find it. The house had that oppressive hush that makes nighttime feel heavier, the kind that keeps sleep at bay. Emily had left earlier in the week for work, kissed me goodbye with a suitcase in hand, and promised she'd call once she settled. She sent a text, a tidy hotel room, a made bed, the city lights beyond the window, ordinary business trip stuff. That night, restless and lonely, I idly browsed on my laptop and landed on a page I didn't remember bookmarking. It was the kind of site I never expected to open as a married man. Curiosity pulled me in, and then my breath stopped. On the screen, lit by a soft pink glow, a woman in revealing clothes smiled and teased the camera, drawing attention from anonymous viewers. At first I tried to convince myself it was someone else. Different hair, heavier makeup. But small details betrayed me. The way her collarbone curved, the faint scar near her hip from an old childhood tumble, the cadence of her movement. It was Emily. My hand hovered above the trackpad, frozen. Maybe it was a look-alike. Maybe I was imagining it. Then she leaned toward the lens and used that familiar, flirtatious voice. "Don't be shy, boys. Tell me what you want." The color left my face. I slammed the laptop shut, my heart hammering until the sound filled the empty living room. I sat in the dark, head in my hands, rocking slightly and trying to tell myself I'd been mistaken. She was supposed to be miles away in meetings, exhausted and sleeping. Instead, she was performing for strangers. I didn't call her that night. I lay awake until dawn, staring at the ceiling, turning over possibilities in my mind. Maybe it was an old video, maybe a recording, maybe she needed money and felt too ashamed to say so. But then I remembered a nickname I'd once used for her. It appeared in the chat, typed by someone else as if it were private. Seeing that name in plain text felt like a blade. The next day I carried on at work, smiling and nodding while the world felt oddly unreal. At lunch, I returned to the site. She was live. Same laugh, same room. This time, she wore the necklace I'd bought her for our anniversary. My stomach lurched. I refrained from confronting her immediately. Instead, I made an anonymous account and typed, hand shaking, "Does your husband know?" Her expression flickered for the smallest instant. Then she broadened her smile and winked. "Some secrets are fun to keep," she answered, as if nothing had shifted. That evening when she called, her voice was light and casual, chatty about dinners and schedules. I gripped the phone until my knuckles went white. Her chatter about conferences felt like an insult. I needed more evidence. Over the following nights, I watched more streams, each one another wound in a betrayal I couldn't escape. She laughed and coaxed and repeated lines she had once reserved for me. Those private intimacies were now commodities, tossed to whoever paid. The chat fed on crude comments and intrusive demands. It wasn't only her body on display. It was the private life we'd built, the trust and closeness, being sold to strangers. By Thursday, I could no longer stay silent. My hands trembled as I typed, "I'm your husband. I'm watching." Her eyes widened, and for the first time her practiced mask slipped. Then the stream abruptly ended. Minutes later, she called, voice shaking. "Michael, please don't overreact. I can explain." I let out a laugh that tasted like acid. Explain what? That she'd said she was at a conference eating dinner with colleagues while she was in our living room performing online? Her silence was louder than any argument. "I just wanted to feel wanted," she whispered. "You've been so busy, so distant. It wasn't supposed to mean anything, just attention and the money." I sank into the couch, trembling. "You could have told me," I thought. "You could have told me you were lonely instead of selling what was ours." She sobbed, saying she didn't think I would understand. When she came home on Friday, she reached for me, but I stepped away. Her eyes were red, and her hands unsteady, carrying the weight of what had happened over the last days. My heart had already hardened. "I can't unsee it, Emily," I said quietly. "Every time I close my eyes, I see you on that screen, laughing, teasing, wearing the necklace I gave you. I loved you more than anything, and you buried that under lies." Tears tracked down her face as she begged me not to give up. I shook my head. "You gave up first," I answered. That night, I packed a bag and walked out. There was no shouting, no smashed dishes, just a quiet departure. as the door shut behind me. 10 years together felt like fragile glass underfoot, crushed and scattered. Betrayal, I learned, doesn't always come as a single thunderclap. Sometimes it is a slow erosion, nights and choices that chip away at trust until there's nothing left to hold.